fear is the biggest thing that I had in Everest. I had to cross dead bodies, dead climbers that passed out very, very recently, like last night. And that was a really, really scary moment. I don't want to die for a mountain, and that fear is very similar to trading. When you're actually trading, especially in a very fast-paced environment, you have to overcome a fear of loss. And, the control of your fear, the fact that, you are in an uncertain environment, you do your best, you manage your risk as much as possible, is very similar to the mountaineering and trading.
Hi there, I'm Mike Larson, Editor-in-Chief with MoneyShow, and I'm here at the Toronto Money Show. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Andrew Aziz, founder of Bear Bull Traders. Andrew, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for the great event. I'm having a really amazing time, and it's been very, very educational for me, and I really appreciate that again.
Excellent.
For organizing it.
Excellent, glad to hear it. Andrew, why don't we start by you just explaining a little bit about what is it that Bear Bull Traders does for those who are not familiar with the company or may know but want to know a little bit more?
We are an online community of traders from all around the world that we get together online through our website and help each other during the trading and investing, from giving each other educational tips or trading tips or answering questions. Essentially, trading and investing is very lonely, and we want to make it, trade together. Our motto is don't trade alone.
Got it, okay. Now, do you tend to have a lot of very short-term traders, swing traders, longer-term investors too? I'm just kind of curious, when you monitor the discussions or interact with people, what most people are trying to do in this market?
Majority of our members are active traders, so from day trading to very short swing trading. And now we are getting more and more investors in there, but I would say probably 80% of our members are active traders, so either day traders or swing traders.
Perfect, okay. That's a good place to start, but I have to pivot to your talk here in Toronto. It was really inspiring. For those who don't know, this gentleman summited Mount Everest this year. Can you talk a little bit about your preparation for your climb and how it went?
Yeah, so mountaineering has always been my passion, and I started from hiking when I was younger, and then as I came to Canada, I got into the beautiful mountains of Canada, more into the technical climbs. But climbing Everest was not really particularly a mountain for me. It was a challenge that I set my mind in there, and I said, why not climb the biggest mountain in the world? It's a very expensive climb. I spent $100,000 on that, and I'm more on an expensive side. You can climb it probably a little bit cheaper, but the mountain itself wasn't the challenge that I put on my mind. That I want to do that. And I was successful, on that and happy.
Can you explain a little bit about the prep work? How long of a run-up is it? What kind of training did you have to do? All of those things that go into it.
So for Everest, you really cannot do much in the sea level, in the lower elevation, to be prepared for that. General fitness is something that you need. If you go into the little bit of a higher elevation mountains, like in Mexico, we have 5,600 meters. In the Canada or US, there are 4,000 meters. So the body adjusts to the higher elevation. But as soon as you come back to the sea level, you lose that capability of the body for the lack of oxygen. General fitness is very important, and of course your mind has to be ready to challenge yourself into the higher elevation. For the climbing Everest, you go and you give yourself enough time for about 2 months, so the body adjusts to the high elevation and lack of oxygen, partial pressure. Yeah.
And the actual summiting, that was back in May, wasn't it?
It was. Usually it's in the middle of the May.
Okay, and anything you'd share about, it's so hard to explain to people who don't know anything about this what it's like, but what was it like standing up there?
I think it's the end of the world. It's really, really end of the world. Like, the condition is so harsh that when you're climbing, your mind has to focus on every step. You cannot think about anything else. Every step, and you're so slow, and you're trying to breathe through the lack of oxygen, and nobody can help anyone, especially at higher elevation. You just have to focus on yourself and surviving. Really the end of the world, Everest.
Well, I'm sure it was a wonderful experience. People, just to give them at least a taste of what that was like, that's great. Obviously, we're a financial conference, and one of the great things you did was you related some of the things that, go into mountaineering and climbing Everest to what you face in the markets as a trader or investor. Can you talk about a couple of the major points? Starting with, I guess, emotional control was one of them that you mentioned. How does that factor in?
So fear is the biggest thing that I had in Everest. I had to cross dead bodies, dead climbers that passed out very, very recently, like last night. And that was a really, really scary moment. I don't want to die for a mountain, and that fear is very similar to trading. When you're actually trading, especially in a very fast-paced environment, you have to overcome a fear of loss. And the control of your fear, the fact that you are in an uncertain environment, you do your best, you manage your risk as much as possible, is very similar to the mountaineering and trading. So emotional control for Everest, again, it's a conquer of the mind, not the mountain. You have to go through your fear and uncertainty and all of the doubts that you have.
Got it. And the next one that you had mentioned was resilience, how that factors in.
So resiliency is one of the things that I think it's one of the biggest mystery in human psyche. We don't know exactly where we get it. Some people born resilient. They come up after a loss, after a divorce, after a bankruptcy. Some people can, get into that, emotional depression. We really don't know. But what the research has shown, because I was reading a little bit about it, is that resiliency can be taught. It's a skill that you can actually gain by practicing adaptability, by practicing the fact that things change and nothing is permanent. And in the Everest, again, the first time that I saw a dead body, that was the moment that I wanted to turn back. But but with the support that I had with my Sherpa, and he said go and push me. With that support, I tried to overcome that fear. And to be honest with you, I accepted that okay, it's possible that I die, like that person. But I'll go and continue and finish my process, and I don't think about the result. I just focus on the process reaching.
Got it. And the support system, that was going to be something I pointed out. I mean, the importance of that, I guess, in both worlds, right?
Yeah, exactly. We are in a conference. Why are we here? Because we want to see what other people are doing. What are other people are offering? What are their stories from their failures and from their successes? And I think it's very, very important, not only for trading, not only for climbing, for any endeavor, you need to have that support system. It can be as family or a mastermind or friends, or maybe a group of people that you don't know, like online communities that you have. You need that support system. You had an amazing panel, I think the first day, about the future of investing and trading.
Social, yes.
Social. It's very important. A lot of people are following the YouTubers, not just because they're the best traders or best educators, just because they want to be part of a community. They want to be present with a flow of energy of the traders and investors. So it's very important, I think, the social aspects of the support system.
And that's a big difference from the way people would invest, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I mean, it's amazing that you have those kinds of resources, right?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, the boom of technology and, of course, social media has helped a lot.
Sure. I guess the one last point I'd ask about was risk management, how that comes into play in mountaineering as well as in trading.
Yeah, it's a very important point. In the mountains, you risk take. You take risks. Every moment that you are in the mountain, there is a chance of avalanche. There is a chance that you fall into a crevasse. There is a chance of exhaustion. What you do is you don't stop what you love. You do in a controlled environment. We have a fixed rope. We connect each other to the fixed rope. We carry oxygen. We plan the time ahead that, okay, I leave at 9 p.m., I should be in the summit by 5 a.m., I have enough time and daylight to come back. And so you try to manage the risk. It's not that the risk is zero, it's just that you try to control that. In trading and investing as well, I mean, you are in an uncertain environment. At any moment, something can happen. The biggest companies in the world can go to zero, like it happened in 2009, and for the biggest banks, investment banks. Sure. But what you do is you manage your risk, and you try to, navigate through this uncertain environment.
Any final words of advice you'd have to somebody that's just beginning to get into mountaineering or just beginning to get into trading?
I think at the beginning you will have a lot of doubt. That the early losses, we all have done that. I've blown up accounts. I had my biggest loss was $2 million. But how to stay in the game? A lot of people are asking me is that if you really want trading and investing, if you really want to become a trader, put your mind in there and you can actually overcome the early challenges. That's how I did it. The early losses for me was a lot. My early loss was $20,000, was pretty much all of my savings. Yeah. But I really wanted that lifestyle. I wanted to become a trader. Even for Everest, I wanted to climb it. That's a unique thing in the world that only a few thousand people have done it in the world. So put your mind on it, and you will get the resiliency of the mind to overcome the challenges.
Okay. Andrew, thank you so much for sharing some time here. Thank you for your keynote earlier, and thank you all for watching. This is Mike Larson from The Money Show in Toronto.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.